what has to be the priority if we want to have a pipeline system for our workforce of the future. We got to have that consistent funding level. That's going to take constitutional dedications to open up some of the constitutional amendment to open up some of the constitutional dedications we have right now. I don't think you can go politically after each dedication. You're going to get a lot of pushback. I think you need trigger legislation in the Constitution that if you have a deficit of a certain amount, then everything's open up. And I think then you can argue to everybody that everybody needs to be cut a little so that we're not just constantly hacking away at our higher education institutions. Some of that, what kind of has been happening is they've been raising tuition, but at the same time they've been taking state general fund away on the back end. So there's been it's a zero-sum game for higher ed. They're not improving at all, while our students are getting having to pay more just to go to college and get their education. In regard to the vocational and technical college, it needs to start before that. I think we need a career-focused pathway. We're starting to see some of that right now that sits alongside the academic-focused pathway. Not everybody's going to want to go get a 4-year degree. Not everybody needs to. They have other talents where they could probably make more money without having to get a college education or a further, more professional degree. That's going to have to start in the middle school, and that's going to take everybody coming together from our regional employers, our higher education officials, as well as their K through 12 superintendents from all over this area. We're kind of in our own little silos right now, and like I said, people are starting to realize that and come together, but it's going to take leadership, and I think as your next state senator, that's what I provide. People, once you pick up that phone and say, this is Senator Clark, they're going to want to listen and come together. Obviously, come to places like this, bring them all in a room and say, where are we going to be in 10 to 15 years to the employers, or where would you like to be? And take that data, working with not only the regional employers, but North Louisiana Economic Partnership, the Louisiana Economic Development Department, and then take that data and drive that down to our higher education institutions, drive that down to our K through 12 institutions, and show this is where we want to be, and this is where I think we're going to have the jobs for our kids. That way they're not going to have to go to Atlanta, they're not going to have to go to Dallas to get an education or a job, but they can stay right here in Northwest Louisiana. It's just going to take more leadership from our elected officials, and it's going to take a lot of dedication from our employers to actually help get internships, apprenticeships, and educate young kids. I mean, we start realizing kind of what we want to do, or what we want to get interested in maybe pursuing in that junior high level, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. That's what we need to get the kids, especially if you see the dropout rate increases tremendously when people can legally drop out because of age in the 9th grade. Instead of just sending them home, we need to say, you know what, you can get a job right now. You don't have to have that high school degree, but you can get a well-paying job. Obviously, they need a high school degree or a GED. I'm not saying that. But some kids aren't going to go back and get it. So we need to make sure that they have the options to go get a well-paying job to provide for their families. Also, we need to look at the whole higher ed system as a whole, with the UL system, LSU, etc. Some people are saying we're just too top-heavy, we're too big. I think right here in Shreveport, we can look at the LSUS campus as well as the med school campus, and we can create some sort of synergy there, maybe moving the allied health program over to the LSUS campus, filling up some of that space right now that is frankly decaying because of lack of actual human bodies being there. That would create space over at the med school campus to hopefully have the ability to create public-private partnerships to bring in companies that maybe want to do pharmacological studies, toxicological studies with the new crime lab we have here. We have a lot of great assets. We just need a different perspective pushing ourselves forward. And it's going to take all of us working together.